And we're live. After some technical issues, welcome to Founders Chat, your place for hot business news and even hotter takes. Yes, we're live. This week, not as crazy last week, but some interesting developments. Anthropic, especially Claude AI, has officially been designated as a national security risk by the Pentagon. TikTok Shop launched strict anti-slop policy to ban accounts using low-quality AI-generated content, especially on TikTok Shop. That's an interesting one. We have some interesting views on that. UK small businesses, if they didn't have enough, they're on high alert for VAT and income tax increase following the global energy shocks related to the war, and a historic 175 billion tariff refund court ruling is finally opening the door for importers to reclaim their cash. This is around the US tariffs. A bunch of other stuff happening, so let's dive into it. As always, if you guys want to join the conversation, comment in the chat, we'll reply to it, or DM me on LinkedIn if you want to join us on stage.
Please do join. The topics are very boring this week. I need some humor.
That's not true.
It is. They aren't great. The most interesting notebook LM one. Last week I had loads of great ones. This one is not so much, but let's see if I can make it fun.
Shall we just start with Anthropic again, since we talked about it last week? It's been everywhere. So I think it's number... Where is it on our list? I had it. There we go, 18. So there's been quite a lot of development. Last week we've talked that they Anthropic refused to drop guardrails for Pentagon, and as a follow-up to that, this week Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth officially designated Anthropic as a national security supply chain risk. The rare label bars US defense contractors from using Claude for any government-related work. Meanwhile, OpenAI has capitalized on the move, securing a massive Pentagon deal with similar safeguards that keep humans in the loop for any use of force, and Anthropic's free user base has jumped 60% since January. But on March the 10th, that's yesterday, Anthropic filed 2 major lawsuits against the Pentagon, alleging that its designation as a supply chain risk is a violation of the First Amendment and an unlawful campaign of retaliation. The lawsuit was filed in California and DC and argued that the government abusing Section 3252, a law meant for foreign enemies like Russia, to punish a US company for its views on AI safety. Anthropic claims that the move has already cost them hundreds of millions in the near-term revenue. So
who cares? It's the US government who just invaded another fucking country in some AI tool that's making more money than sense. Who really cares? Like, this doesn't impact me in any way, like, at all.
Not you per se, but one of the talking points is, if you're a small business with a government contract, do you need to immediately purge Claude from your tech stack to avoid being seen as a risk?
No,
because if they mark it as a risk and say you just cannot use it, if you got anything to do with a government and you're gonna work with government contracts, and it's part of your tech, that could lead to problems. I've worked with a number of UK contracts, government contracts, and the government is really, really picky about low legal things like that, to the point where they're just gonna go,
Do you want to know the
sorry,
easy way to
mate.
fix this? Just get a burner email address and use a Claude account on that burner email. Job done.
It doesn't quite work like that for
It
some
does
companies.
literally work like that. So if some marketing guy is doing, I don't know, work for a company on a government contract, if he's just using the email address, nothing to do with him, nothing to do with that company, it will not make a
No,
slight.
we're talking proper government contracts. Like you're doing, you know, a couple of million or tens of millions of hundreds of millions worth of work, potentially. So this is not your freelancer. Like, you know, governments don't hire freelancers.
My clients literally work with government contracts. I know what they are. Yeah, this makes no difference to anyone. Like realistically, especially that point. There's so many 1,000 different ways around this. One, it's a slim chance the government actually give a fuck. And two, there's a slim chance that they actually give a fuck and you're found guilty of using the thing. Or they specifically choose you out of the thousands of people who are using that one thing. It's a slim chance they fine you. So it's a 1% out of a 1% that they fine you. Like it's pointless even worrying about. If you're that arse about a 0.1% chance, then if you get caught on that, you're just an unlucky guy. I don't know what you can do. Don't waste hours of the day worrying about a 0.1% chance.
That comes to most crime, isn't it?
A plane might fall out the sky right now and crush me to death. Am I gonna worry about it? No, because if a plane decides to kill it, they don't have much of a choice. Just a practical way. The chances of this actually impacting someone with a government contract is so slim. Because also the US government have way more important things going on, you know, Iran in the Middle East, than someone using fucking Claude. Like, let's be honest here.
I think it's a bit more complicated than that. For larger businesses, right? We're not talking your small business as such, but anyone that's actually working with government tenders, it could become a problem, right? It's the same like saying, oh, you know, I'm not gonna do my digital tax in UK. Well, you have to. It's the fucking law. If it's the law, you gotta do it.
Yeah, because everyone who commits the law ends up in prison. Yeah, that's, in my opinion on this.
You might get lucky and skip it, but it doesn't mean that somebody else will, right?
Is it okay? Is it lucky? Is it lucky if it's a 0.1% chance that impacting you, and you get the 99.9% rule of the dice? No, you just played the odds, and the odds came in your favor. Again, my personality type's a gambling one. I look at the odds of something happening. Like I've literally invested like thousands back in my business on like a 25% chance of it working out. And some of the times it worked out, some of the times it didn't. Your personality type's different, so I just look at it as an odd standpoint.
Now, like would you take that risk if you had 10,000 employees?
Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
That depended on you.
Okay, if there's a 0.1%...
If 10,000 people depended on you...
If 90... But you're framing this in the worst possible way. If 99.9% of the time something works out well for you, why wouldn't you just do it? And if that 0.1% happens, what is the worst that really happens? They're not going to cancel a massive... Because you know how much hassle it would be for the government to change a massive, like, 10 million plus contract? So much stress. If they find out you're using Claude, they'd be like, stop using Claude. You've let us down here. They're not going to cancel a multi-million-pound contract because they've just wasted a bunch of time and money.
I've seen places where if you don't follow... I've seen places in those situations when you can get massive fines, and that could really kill your business, right? When you're working on that size contracts, you're not getting like massive profit margins. When you're talking, you know, a few % profit margin, a 10 million fine can literally kill your business overnight.
Yeah, do you know what else? You know what else could kill your business? You going out tonight, getting pissed mortal drunk, and having some fun, and then waking up tomorrow dead in a ditch somewhere. But the chances of that happening, you ending up dead in a ditch, are like 0.1%. So it's probably not even worth thinking about it. That's my approach. Like,
Right. We got Joe's take. Just do everything illegal you can and don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine.
I just read Simon Jordan's book, and all I'm saying is he started a business and in 5 years sold it for 77 million quid just by doing things like never like fully breaking the law, but working in that grey. So I think that should be, and he made a fortune.
It's not in the grey though. Anyway, so that's
You're
on the
telling me
Anthropic saga.
You're telling me some like big lawyer. For example, argument's sake, I'm the government contractor, right? So I've clearly, well-established business, got money. You're telling me I can't afford a lawyer who can get anyone off with anything. There's such a slim chance that you using clothes going to get you fucked by the US government. Just have fun with it. Who cares? Next topic.
Well, if they didn't have a case, they wouldn't be suing them, right? They already said it cost them hundreds of millions of business already.
Who cares? Also,
next topic. Do you want to pick one?
We don't know that lawsuit isn't something like a pay on results sort of thing. Because that sort of thing happens, and that law firm, that Claude have hired, could just be trying their luck to try and make a quick buck or get some free press or anything along those lines. It's nowhere near as big as a bigger deal that is trying to be made out. Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I think it's a weird topic. It's also like is this a dangerous precedent for government to be able to just label a firm that, these guys are now national security threat because they didn't give us what we want.
Yeah, obviously.
That's a shit take to do.
Ever since Trump got elected, he's ran the country, like the US, like a fucking mafia boss. Like, have you ever read the book The Godfather? He's running the country like Don Corleone. It's what he like. Not the book's much better than the movie.
That's what this is actually.
All he does is trying to make offers that people can't refuse. Like when he tried to buy Greenland, he just tried to make an offer that they couldn't refuse. So he's just running the... But then when you think about it, that is also how he ran his casinos for 20, 30, 40 years. So you can't really be surprised when he runs the country like that, when that's his track record. If America decided to elect a gangster majority, they got a gangster. You can't say they didn't know what they were getting involved with when they elected Trump. They knew exactly what they were going to get, and they're getting it.
See, that wasn't a boring topic. Do you want to pick the next one?
Interesting. Oh, God, right.
The headline, Anthropic versus Don Corleone.
Donald Trump runs the US like the Godfather. On fairness, The Godfather is my favourite ever book. I really like that book. It teaches you a lot about... I think it asks the question, how many bad things does a good person have to do to be considered a bad person? And I think that's a very interesting question. Cool shit.
Depends how famous they are.
True. It depends who opinions you care about. Because we've got a bunch of I don't know.
I've missed comments. Hi Diego, how are you doing?
Okay. What are some of the other topics that I might care about? God. Now let's talk about Instagram, because I've obviously had a fight a couple of weeks ago. I've been posting all that sort of stuff on my Instagram, and I have noticed that views are just the only thing this thing seems to care about. And I do keep seeing... Well, I read a Substack article actually the other day, basically saying, don't do what all these gurus like Alex Hormozy and that tell you to do. Do what they're currently doing. And what he's doing is he's just posting organic content and then just basically pushing that as the paid ad. So like imagine a square post that looks like an organic
yeah.
piece of content, then he's just chucking loads of money behind that instead of specifically like a video
Yeah,
ad.
I've got some views on that as well, because that's actually a good technique. But
That's a
let's
good.
quickly read
Share your
through it.
views.
Instagram unifies performance metrics. Views are the new currency. So Instagram has officially transitioned to views as the primary metric across all content formats, including Reels, Stories, Photos, and Carousels. This change, highlighted in early March 2026 reports, aims to simplify how performance is calculated across the app. More importantly, cents per reach, so private DMs, has emerged as the strongest signal of value for the algorithm. So that's people sending the video to someone else in a DM. High value content is now judged by its intentionality, whether it encourages a user to save, share, or visit a profile rather than just keep scrolling past. It's interesting because we've talked about that on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn added saves and profile views, isn't it, to the metrics as well. They're hiding it, they're making it very difficult to access, but they started doing that as well. So, oh, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
No, like if Instagram's penalizing aggregator accounts that repost content, how can a small business use curation without getting hit by the penalty? I don't know, to be honest. But what was your take on the Instagram? Sorry, because I cut you off.
I haven't. Okay, bear in mind, I used to work like in my 9 to 5 job. I used to do like loads of stuff on Instagram, like Instagram business development. It's changed a lot since I used to work on it. Like I know Instagram outreach now is extremely heavy. Like if you follow like a personal trainer on Instagram, you get in an outreach message within like 10 minutes, just trying to sell you their, I don't know, their service or whatever. So it's very much following the LinkedIn sort of playbook. And like that's interesting for something like Instagram because people aren't in that headspace necessarily. But I don't know. I don't know how small businesses operate on Instagram anymore. Because from my understanding of how the market currently is, you would use TikTok for reach because that's got the most potential to go viral. And you would use Instagram almost as the super premium, high quality stuff. And you're assuming the people are coming from either paid Instagram ads or TikTok. That's
I
my
would
recent
say
understanding.
I think it still depends on what you sell, what your business is, and what your audience is. I've noticed that Instagram is still very heavy for like lifestyle stuff and brands. So like all the glamorous stuff, it's good, and they've added some quite a few tools for like selling. You can now, I think, push directly people to like websites, promote stuff, and it's much easier to do that there, where you can just like one click push people from video to a website to a form. I've noticed that actually when I was browsing my Instagram account a little bit. People like put a video and you can just like one click to sign up. It's much harder to do on other platforms. Yeah, like anything related like lifestyle stuff is doing really good on Instagram, because that's where most of the like younger audience is still for that.
It depends what you
People
mean
just
by
spend a lot of
younger.
time. We talked about it, right? People use
Like
Instagram as a
my
messaging app,
my age group is 100% Instagram.
right?
But like
I think you've muted yourself, mate.
not on my screen. My mic's still
I
making
cannot
noises
hear
at the
you.
bottom. It's on,
And I
bro. It's on
certainly
you.
did not mute you.
My mic is making the noise that it can Chat's listening to what I'm saying, so I'm just gonna keep talking.
No, yeah, microphone is definitely not working.
Bro, it's literally fucking working. The 3 dots are right there. So I'm just gonna keep talking. So basically, I've just lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, it's like your mic is switched off, I think.
Bro, it's on.
Maybe come back out and come back. Oh, don't mute me.
Bro, it's on.
What the fuck?
But now you've muted my mic.
Oh, can you? That's strange because I can't hear him. That's so weird.
God, you need to stop assuming you're always right, for fuck's sake. Because you can see the 3 green dots at the bottom. It must be something to do with your headphones or whatever. Anyway, I'm trying to think. My train of thought's gone. So
Okay, you keep on talking. If you think, I'll check on LinkedIn if it's audible. Oh yeah. Da, 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 da.
Why don't you leave and come back in? Why don't you leave and come back in? Ugh, you know what? I'll put it in the private chat. Bro, leave.
Can you hear me though?
Yes.
It shows on mine.
Yes, I can hear you.
That makes no fucking sense.
Is there something wrong? It might be your headphones.
Right, I'm gonna come out and come back in and see if that fixes it, Joe.
Fucking. Can hear fine. Okay, let me just. So now we're back to the A side of the entire. Oh yeah, I've just used the chat, Diego. I've just told them in the private chat to leave the call and join back in.
Okay, I can't actually leave.
On the left, so you can't. Oh my god, can you hear me now?
That is so strange.
What music is you listening to? I don't know what you've done wrong, bro. You've fucked up somewhere. Maybe it's your headphones, like Diego said. You know what? I'm just going to open Twitter and I'm going to look at the most trending topic and I'm going to give my opinion because I'm personally bored about speaking about business. So, did you see the? I don't really watch football anymore, but I turned it on yesterday and I watched 2 games. I watched Newcastle Barcelona, obviously I'm a Geordie, and I also watched Tottenham Atletico Madrid. And what the hell has happened to Tottenham, man? That has got to be one of the worst run businesses in the world. 7 years ago, they won a Champions League final and making record revenue for a football club ever and record profit. And now they're going to go to the Championship. I've just gotten battered in the Champions League last 16. Like, that's a generational fumble. It doesn't make sense because the first 20, Enoch took over in about 2001. From about 2001 to about 2017, you would say Tottenham are the best run football club in the country, or up there at least, because Tottenham were relatively middling. Can you hear me now? I don't know. But anyway, I was on X and talked about the number 1 trending topic, and that was the football last night. So I'm just going to talk about the football last night. And Tottenham were basically the best run club in the country for 16, 17 years. And now, how can you go from that being the best run, best business in that one field to now being the worst one in the space of 10 years. How can you get everything right for 20 years and then everything wrong for a decade after that? That's genuinely impressive. So what was wrong? What went wrong for you?
I don't know, it made no sense because I had in the settings, the sound was working and everything. I just couldn't hear you, I could hear everything else. So something went terribly wrong.
And I just started talking about the football in the Champions League last night.
Right. So what was said about Instagram?
Who cares? Who cares? I just started talking about the football.
Instagram. I wanted to
Move
say
on,
something
who
about
cares?
it, and now I completely forgot what
who
I
cares?
wanted
Pick
to
something
say.
else.
Next topic.
Neither, Diego.
I wanna talk about TikTok.
Bear in mind, I used to go home and away to
this
Newcastle
is an interesting
every season
one.
for I used to go home and away to Newcastle
TikTok
every
shop.
season, 12 years. Yeah, who cares about TikTok? Let's talk about the business of football. That's more interesting. Because football in the UK is such a tough place because it always used to represent like their local community. So you look at struggling areas of the country, look at Liverpool in the 80s. They were getting strangled by Margaret Thatcher. Their local community came together and created a dynasty in football in Liverpool. But ever since the Premier League started in the 90s, with this influx of sports washing money, we had the UAE take over Man City, Saudi Arabia take over Newcastle, venture capitalist American funds take over Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal. So they essentially took an American mindset, a foreign mindset, to something that's such a staple of English culture and English community. Because football for 130 years was something the working class did. Cheap tickets, you go and represent your area almost. But now with this American mindset and this hyper-capitalistic focus, match day tickets, you're looking at over a day's wage to go to one game. And for a season ticket, you're paying 1 month's full wage in a normal job for that ticket. Because with the explosion of English football, we've got all of these foreign fans, which is great for the exposure of the sport, but it has removed that football cornerstone of people's community in this country. And now that's looked at more as a business that rather than a part of that community. Local fans are getting strangled out. That's why atmospheres are worse, because prices have priced out the people who truly care. So my bold theory is that football, it can't get any bigger. They got over 1 billion views in the last World Cup final. That's 1 in 7 people in the world. You can't get that sport much bigger in terms of global reach and global streaming. So the only way you can make more money is more games and charging more to attend those games. But people can't afford any more than they're already paying. So my bold theory is football will plateau, which will actually be a decline because of inflation.
Well,
There's my...
They make money on social media and sponsorships now.
No, but my point is
they make money on social media and sponsorships now. That's how they do it.
You don't understand the expenses in football involved. Like Man United turn over like over 1 billion a year, but their wage bill is something ridiculous, like 85% of that. There's no profit in there. The profit in theory from football is in 10 years' time when you sell the football club. That's when you get your profit into it. You don't make money year on year. Like researching the business of football in the past 12 months, because I noticed, like when I lost interest because Newcastle didn't represent the local community in the local area anymore. But doing this research, most football clubs lose money every year. Like even a small one like Crystal Palace, they lose something like £500,000 a month. But because the owner will sell that for 500 million quid in a decade's time, that's when all the money, he'll get the return. It's a fucked business. It's shocking. And the fans, the ones who are getting their wallets squeezed. I hear your mouth.
And I
talk
don't
rude.
watch football, so I've got nothing to add. We can move on.
Something weird, like I'm not sure if it's just me or someone in the chat can verify, but it's Alex moving his lips, and then 10 seconds later, you hear.
TikTok Shop issued a major policy.
Yeah,
It should be fine. But
now
there
you're-
might be like a little delay for some reason. I don't know why.
And now your face is fully frozen. I don't know what's gone on.
That's strange. I think your internet's playing.
No, it's not me. The chat are backing me. You need to stop assuming you're right
Playing
in every
tricks on you.
because you've been wrong every single time today. So stop trying to blame people. See, the chat are backing me.
Right, I think there's also, I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing. I don't think you can have two people talking at the same time too much. I think it like tries to cut one off. Maybe that's why as well. Maybe it's a StreamYard setting thing. I don't know. Everything looks fine on my screen, to be honest. So I'm not sure if there is a problem that you can see on your screen, Diego.
Yeah, Diego's saying he thinks there's a lag.
But maybe, is there a delay?
Yes,
could be a microphone thing.
So I'm actually right on every single thing today. You need to stop blaming
he's
other people
asking.
when it's. No, oh my god, he's asking, but he's asking other people because he thinks there is one. Okay, I'm gonna go back to talking about the business of football because, as I said earlier, I've just read Simon Jordan's book and he made a lot of money working in that.
Let me swap to another microphone.
And then in that way, with all that money he made, he bought Crystal Palace. And unfortunately, because he's a working class bloke who made millions, the banks hated him. He didn't come from a wealthy family or anything like that. And eventually the banks put his club into administration when the business shouldn't have been put into administration. And he got his life's work taken off him for virtually no reason. Disgrace. That's another reason I hate football after reading that book.
1, 2, 3, test.
Yeah, you're back. It works. It works. It was your mic. It was your mic.
Beautiful.
See, you need to stop assuming everything that goes wrong is me because the past 3 things that have went wrong, it was you, and yet you kept trying to blame me. There's a lesson in there somewhere.
Lesson.
There is.
Right.
No, let's.
I've
just talked about football for a while. Let's talk about boxing now because that's a much better sport.
I don't think that's a good idea, Joe.
Why not?
We can chat about it after the show at the end.
No, let's make the show about boxing. Why not? Let's make it about fun because the news stories this week got really boring. Let's talk about what we do for fun outside of work because that's what people really care about.
We can do that after the show.
Why? None of these topics are interesting anyway. They're all about tax or TikTok slot being anti-AI slot.
Do you want to pick one?
No, you can pick whatever. I'll just give my colour commentary afterwards.
TikTok Shop issued a major policy update on March 4th, that's last week, introducing content posting limits for sellers and creators. Effective from March 30th, if an account publishes 5 or more non-interactive or misleading videos, including low-quality AI-generated content, within 7 days, the posting ability will be restricted. Ooh, maybe that's what's happening to my stuff. The platform is targeting slop content that lacks meaningful engagement or misrepresents products. This move signals a shift from volume-first affiliate marketing to quality-first model. That's interesting because the massive thing that's been going on TikTok actually is they've had all of these new AI software that did the UGC style content that looks like people are doing reviews of products, but it's actually AI generated, and that's been flooding TikTok shop and everything. So will be interesting, like how that is that actually gonna get detected? Are people gonna get punished literally for anything AI related that doesn't look very good? Um, and TikTok's always been about volume as well. You know that, Joe, right? TikTok's always been like post minimum 5 times a day. And now they're saying if you've got like 5 shit pieces of content within a week, you might get banned.
I don't know. This the whole every like established social media platform is kind of going through the thing now where they can't get many more users realistically, or enough users, or enough new users to keep making money. So they need to find ways to squeeze their current user base out of as much money as possible. That's the thought process behind LinkedIn. That's why the base package without premium, you can see fewer profiles, you can send fewer personalized connections. It's the same thing on Instagram. That's why every 2 posts you see is a sponsored one, because they're given that much priority to paid social. And with TikTok as well, so the paid ads on TikTok are ridiculous. I barely use TikTok anymore, but whenever I do go on, you see so many of those carousel posts, paid ads. If you press it, it automatically takes you to their website, like almost like a scam thing. And then even YouTube, you not see the YouTube report. It was some business report came out about YouTube. Was it Monday? It was definitely this week. And it's basically most of their money doesn't come from advertisement. It comes from YouTube premium subscriptions. So they're showing people that many ads on the free YouTube. It's like 75 or 76% of their revenue comes from YouTube premium now. So they're just going to show people who don't have YouTube Premium as many ads as possible to get them to subscribe, because they get more money from Premium than they do revenue from the ads.
Yeah, the revenue, the ads is mostly to like keep creators happy and give them monetization and stuff. YouTube takes a cut, obviously, but to be honest, most of the revenue is because they're owned by Google, right? So they
But
can
you
use the
wouldn't
data.
think 76% would be from YouTube Premium, would you? You'd think it would be lower than that. And bear in mind how much revenue YouTube make. That's a lot of premium subscriptions.
Yeah, YouTube is almost unusable without premium now, to be honest, and
Oh, it's
like there's
it's
a lot of
borderline.
ads.
It's almost unusable. Almost. Like
It's almost unusable, and it has overtaken. If you think about it, that they have been growing still. They're still growing. Um,
yeah, YouTube's the only platform where you can get more users. It essentially is just traditional television, just on your phones, on TVs, it's on laptops, on everything. It's just a more accessible traditional TV model. So it's not like something like
and
LinkedIn where it's kind of peaked out on user base. You can't really peak out
yeah,
on traditional television, really.
yeah, it's because they have overtaken Netflix and all streaming services as the number one stream platform on TVs. So there's more people watching YouTube on TV than Netflix.
It's like you see, you look at Netflix and Amazon now. Netflix invested what, over $200 million in boxing last year. They're investing over 150 million in the first half of this year on one boxing on the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao rematch that was crap the first time, and the Ronda Rousey MMA comeback. Because the way and Amazon have just invested in the Champions League. So what Netflix and Amazon have done, they basically went, we can't get any more users in the lifestyle section into like who like normal documentaries or television or comedies or whatever. So they're now having to spend hundreds of millions to bring sports fans in, because that's the way they've both identified. That's how we get more users and make more money. Because they couldn't get any bigger just sticking to regular television. They have to expand to live sports to keep getting new users. which begs the question: when does it
They have
end?
pushed a lot of that, right? They have pushed that a lot recently.
Well, in the US, they did it with the every Christmas Day now the NFL game's on, which is like American staple. So they've got an American tradition now. And then last year they had Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua boxing match. Jesus Christ. They had Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, which was the biggest fight of the year. Like right there, that's over $200 million Netflix spent to get the two biggest boxing shows of the year, because they know that sports fans are the only demographic they haven't attracted to their platform. That's the only way they can keep getting new users.
So a question here is, and that's the tricky one. Can a quality first algorithm actually distinguish between boring human video and a good AI generated one? Because they've been getting better.
Boring human versus good AI, was that the question?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know, because like a lot of, like I look at my YouTube homepage sometimes and I click a video and I don't notice this AI for like 30-40 seconds. And I'm someone who's like very AI savvy. And if it takes me 30-40 seconds to figure it out, how long is it going to take for AI to get for me not to know for 5 minutes? Then once it's at 5 minutes, how long is it going to take for me not to know, period? And I'm someone who's switched on. So what the normal person who isn't AI savvy or AI switched on probably can't really tell that much already. And if they do, it probably takes them a good little while.
And whilst there is, obviously, I think there's some metadata in the files that actually tells the platform that it's AI. I think there are ways around it, because you can always like re-edit. You know, once you re-edit the video, I don't think that sticks around. I'll need to look into it. But it would be really interesting to see, because like I said, TikTok's always been a volume platform, right? It's just been push. And now they're saying post less videos. That's I mean, it's a good thing on one hand. I would love people to drop a one good video rather than 5 average ones.
It's like I saw my little godson who's 6 years old this year. No, he's just 6 years old, period. He's 7 this year. And when he scrolls YouTube Shorts, that is all AI. Nothing is human made. It's all AI. Like it's like Minecraft and Roblox AI slop.
Oh yeah, the Roblox brain rot is horrible. Fucking
it's the app, like,
crazy.
And this is like this kid's a smart kid. Like I remember even before he went to school, he was always happy. He was always running around, always bubbly, always great. Now he goes to school, he's a little miserable little shit. He's a little miserable bastard now. And he used to be really happy and fun. So school and all of this AI bullshit slop is making him a much worse little lad, unfortunately. But then again, I don't know. I don't think there is a solution. I don't know what the solution possibly could be. That's like realistic, because obviously in an ideal world, we all just shut off all these social media platforms, yada yada yada. But that's not realistic, because 1, to make too much money. 2, they're too much of an integral part of all our lives. 3 is how everyone gets the news these days. And 4, our dopamine brains are addicted. We're on social media right now, so it's very hypocritical even saying this.
Maybe social media that's on. Oh no, that already exists. Ignore me. I was thinking maybe make a social media that only allows live video and nothing else. But that's Twitch.
My genius idea. Do you remember when it was like one of the first couple of shows, and I said, like, you said it's not possible for like a social media platform, and you want to like come out basically, and you like put a social platform. Like it's the only one that maybe could find a market share if it's backed by like hundreds of million. Is the one that somehow has some amazing code where nothing AI generated can get on there. That's the only.
But that's what I'm saying. It's impossible. It's impossible nowadays to distinguish.
I honestly sometimes I sit back and think about this. Like I did this at the last time I was cutting weight before my last fight. I remember this is one of the thoughts I was having in the sauna, and I was like, "What's gonna happen if the majority, or maybe not even the majority, because this hyper-capitalistic mindset the West especially has, is that we need to make more money, we need to be more productive. So that's only going to make AI be more important and more prevalent, because that's one of the reasons. I was talking about football earlier, about how ticket prices keep going up because this American mindset. So they're strangling and getting rid of the core demographic. Like Real Madrid playing in the Champions League tonight haven't sought out the Bernabeu for a Champions League knockout game. That's the first time that's happened in decades. But the stadium's still going to make more money than it did last year, despite not selling out because those ticket prices have doubled in price. Do you know what I mean? So that's a win for that mindset because they're making more money. But what happens in 10 years' time when those fans who maybe would have took a kid to their game and then that kid then becomes a lifelong customer? What happens in 10 years when that kid couldn't go to the match tomorrow and fallen up with the club? It's the same thing with AI entertainment. What happens in 10 years' time where the kids who grew up on AI slop are now teenagers and are now let out into society? What happens then? I don't know. Like, it's fucking crazy when you deep it on that deep level, like I did when I was cutting weight in the sauna and I was like on death's door. I was thinking, is genuine creativity gonna die? Because this is like a really weird tangent I'm about to go on. I remember reading a book. Yeah. You know the TV show Cheers? Like it's some sitcom about a bar. It was like the biggest show in America for like 13 years in the 80s.
Yeah.
And the writers of that TV show wrote a book. And they were basically saying that the reason that Cheers was so good was because that was the last generation of writers who were brought up on books and not television. So the current generation of writers, where people say cinema's awful now, TV's dead, were brought up on television and mobile phones. So what happens in 10, 20 years' time when that generation of writers was brought up on AI slop? Like, what the fuck does that look like? Like this was genuinely the thought process. When I was cutting weight 2 or 3 weeks ago in the sauna, this was what I was thinking about. This is the tangent my brain took me to. And what happens then? Because I don't know. Honestly, I don't.
Maybe there won't be any more social media. Maybe AI robots will take over.
Is that true? Like, is that something that could actually happen, do you think?
Yeah.
Because logic tells you it couldn't really happen, right? But that seems the pathway. I don't know. I think that's a very interesting area.
I've watched anime like a few years ago that kind of shown that scenario where all like content and music and like live performance was done by robots and AI. Humans
I don't
didn't
know.
make anything anymore. All entertainment was AI generated. And right now we're still in a point where like doing an AI video is actually still hard. It actually requires a lot of work.
No, yeah,
you can only generate short clips, and you have to be able to like paste those clips, push them together. You still need to write a good story.
And it's the same thing.
But those UGC videos have been getting better.
So we did do you remember the show when I was talking about how AI is going to replace the generalist? Because it's not because AI is better, but people will see a solution for like an extra 50 quid or whatever and be like, oh, I'm not going to pay a human 500 quid or £1,000 because that human needs to charge that because they need to buy food, they need to pay rent and pay water. So it's like hyper capitalistic mindset that's caused all of this. Is this going to squeeze the generalist out, and eventually it will just kill everything. But then who has money to buy anything except these multi-billion-dollar tech companies? Like, I have no idea. I've got no idea. Like this is the sort of thought process I have when I'm cutting weight. Like I just went down this massive spiral. Like what happens then?
Let's pick another topic. We'll have to live and see.
I mean, thing is, I would just, if like everything just goes to like shit, I would just go and I would go to Thailand and just fight on a beach for like 20 quid a day and be perfectly happy, and then just die at 50 from CTE. Like I don't want to live till 100 and see robots kill us. Like fuck that. Like, can you imagine living like age? It's like that Simpsons episode where they live to like age 90 in like 2008 and they predicted iPods taking over the world and like whipping people. I don't want to live to see that. I'll just die from 50 from CTE and just having like boxing and MMA fights just on the beach for like 20 quid a day.
A quick topic here, actually. This is important for small businesses. There's not much to discuss here, but UK ends manual online tax filing. So
That's a fucking
HMRC
piss take.
transformation roadmap marks a critical deadline, March 31st, that's end of this month, as the old online service for filing tax company returns and annual accounts will officially close. From April 1st, all small businesses must use commercial software to file it in the IXBRL format. Basically, you gotta use Sage, QuickBooks, whatever. From April, change effectively ends the era of manual copy-paste tax filing forms for limited companies. Founders are being urged to download their historical records before the cutoff, as access to previous returns through the old portal will be permanently removed, potentially complicating future audits. So if you've been running a small business in UK for the last few years and you haven't used software already, do download your records in case you need them for an audit or anything else. So HMRC is outsourcing the burden of tax compliance to private software companies.
Shock. Well, the UK already outsourced their water, their rail, their energy to private companies. Why would this be any different? Fuck's sake. I hate everything, you know. Like I really do
So-
hate. I really hate the world sometimes. Like this past like 20, like past like 50-minute conversation, I really just hate everything. Like I just pointed out loads of things that I hate. I hate how sport's been taken over by the hyper capitalistic American mindset and Saudi Arabian sports washing. I hate how AI is removing all creativity and genuine quality. I hate how ads are on everything after we had like 7 years with no ads on Netflix and YouTube. And I hate that the UK government has outsourced rail, outsourced energy, outsourced water, and now outsourced tax. Like I fucking hate everything. Can we talk about something happy? Like fuck this.
No, so probably not the Middle East crisis.
Is there anything happy? Can we talk about something fun? Because I'm so sick of this. Is there anything someone in the comments give us a topic, like something happy. Let me talk about something happy for a little bit. There's got to be something happy in this topic list, bro. Please say it. Oh, that LinkedIn 9 one is bullshit, by the way. I read about this the other day. Oh, okay, that's gonna make us rant, isn't it? Oh no. Is this the no, this is the
LinkedIn marketing API update. Predictive audiences and legend. LinkedIn has rolled out significant updates to its marketing API. So this is mostly for like big enterprise software and advertising. Introducing a predictive audiences API. This tool allows businesses to use AI modeling to identify prospects with higher conversion propensity based on first-party data. Additionally, the update adds dynamic URL tracking for lead gen forms. That's actually useful. Diego, this is useful for you. You should know this. So the update adds dynamic URL tracking for lead gen forms, enabling automatic attribution of leads to specific campaigns or creatives. The technical shift favors small B2B teams who can now use AI scored segments to compete with the data-driven precision of much larger advertising agencies. So AI-powered predictive audiences is just a fancy way of saying the algorithm is picking your customers, which is great until it starts ignoring your niche.
not selling your data. Well, it's not selling your data really. It's using the
LinkedIn's
data.
already been selling your data. So,
Because
that's the entire business model.
let's call this episode the bullshit of American hyper-capitalism, because that's what this is. Because there's loads of software tools already doing this, but LinkedIn have been like, oh, all these people are taking money from our platform. Let's fuck all them over and take the money back and just do the same thing with our branding. I'm really sick of this. I really hate LinkedIn. Well, I hate LinkedIn, but I like it in the niche I work in because it's undersaturated and relatively straightforward. But I'm really starting to hate general social media.
Diego, do you have any say on this? You're in the advertising space. Have you looked into this at all?
It's great for advertisers, but you know how we made an episode on where it was humans will always take like the path of least resistance. This will just lead to like super targeted, awful DMs, isn't it? It's going to make that sector or even more saturated.
Yeah, and ads. You're gonna see more ads on LinkedIn now.
I need to get out, man. I really sort of.
Well, so here's a talking point for this. Will max qualified lead optimization actually lower costs or just make the bidding more expensive for everyone? My guess is they're putting AI in it, they're not gonna make it cheaper.
It'll lower costs at the start to get more users, but it'll probably operate at a loss or break even to have a low cost, and it'll eventually up the price every quarter, like Sales Navigator. That's
they're just
how
gonna
I
make it more expensive, right? If it becomes good, it's gonna become more expensive.
This is the same thing we talked about earlier about how every social media platform can't get much bigger, so they're trying to get more money out of the existing user base, and I think that's what this is another version of LinkedIn doing that. It's like I remember when Sales Nav was like 60 quid a couple of years ago. Like 60 quid is, you know what? It's market fair price for how it did. But now, if you don't want to get into big companies, it charges like 100 quid. So if you don't want to get into companies with like thousands of employees, it's just not worth that money. It's not.
I started using something else now, and it's actually doing better job than Sales Nav. But a lot of tools actually now scrape all of LinkedIn Sales Nav data and allow you access. So I've seen more like lead gen software for like automations and sending DMs actually give you now full data search as well without needing Sales Navigator. So you can
What
search
tool do you
directly
use?
through the software. I use a thing called Gojiberry now.
We've tried
which,
Applify.
like,
That's what I've used
there's a
Applify.
few things, but actually there's one on AppSumo now that I need to test because it's got a lifetime deal. That might
Well,
be
Send
better.
Pilot. I know the Send Pilot founders.
Yeah,
I
have you
don't mind
tested it?
Send. Yeah, it's if you want to send from multiple accounts, it's the best one. But if you just want to send from one account, there's no difference between that and all the other ones.
Is it better? Because the thing that led me, because I've got actually like 10 lifetime licenses on Closely, which was another one similar. But I kept starting getting banned.
No, I like Send
So
Pilot. I remember when I had it was last year. I used Send Pilot for
that's where sorry to stop you for a second. That's where Dripify was quite good because I never got flagged on Dripify. They did something right. I not once got flagged, and I was doing like 35 connections a day at one point.
I was one of the Send Pilot beta testers when it first came out in like May last year. It wasn't that good in the beta test, but I used it again like 4 or 5 months later. And if you want to send multiple, like say you got like 3 accounts you're sending DMs from, you can like share lead lists, and it'll how do I say this right? All 3 will be targeting the same leads, but they'll target them at different times, so it doesn't look coordinated. It replicates human behavior really well. But if you're just using it from one account, there's most likely no difference between that and every other tool on the market. But it's the best I've found it. Multiple accounts.
My only question
from one.
is the security of it, right? If it's doing the security right.
Oh, I remember when I was talking to the founders in the beta test, they were like, we're making this because Prosp, the voice note thing, keeps getting everyone banned. So that's why they made it. So I'm assuming if that was the main market at the start, it's not getting people banned. But the
Interesting.
one
I
of
might
the
give it a go.
one of the co-founders, Elliot's a really cool guy. I do like him. I've spoken to him a few times. There's like 3 or 4 co-founders. I don't know them, but I know Elliot. Elliot's cool.
So yeah, will be interesting where this LinkedIn stuff goes. I was looking for a happy topic, but to be honest, this news is the only happy topic I can think of is Notebook LM. So let's talk about that briefly. We can have 5 minutes of happy because I like that
Good.
software actually.
But
You
mate,
like
I'm
it
so.
too.
I want some happiness, man. Like, let's want
Let's
something
talk
fun.
happy topic, guys. Notebook LM adds cinematic video overviews and infographics. Google Notebook LM just received a massive 2026 update introducing cinematic video overviews and 10 custom infographic styles. Users can now transform their research notes into physics-aware cinematic videos using VEO3 models or choose from infographic layouts. Additionally, the mobile app now supports prompt-based slide revisions with direct PowerPoint export. This positioning shifts Notebook LM from a simple note organizer and research utility into high-utility content repurposing tool for small teams. And the infographic stuff, I've actually had a quick test on it. It's actually amazing. I might test it for actual content. Because there are
Really?
people like
Nice.
charging $50 for an infographic, and I think this can do a pretty good job. Like I ran a quick test, it got the context right, the design was good, all the text was good. That was what I struggled with. So you can like drop a YouTube video, an article, a post, anything, and just say, make an infographic from this.
What do you just
It
drop
can
your
even
like
run
brand asset?
research. Yeah, it can even run research. The video interview was crazy as well. It actually does like a podcast style presentation with video, with like slides. So I might try that as well actually for some content. What might be interesting play. Um, but it's crazy how good the podcasting side has gotten as well, and everything else. Like a lot of people skip Notebook LM because they've always like niched down as this kind of study tool for students and researchers, right? That's what they marketed as. So they've always been in the sidelines. Not a lot of people even know that it exists. Um,
I
but
didn't
it's
know it
actually quite
existed till you
crazy.
told me about it like a year ago. I didn't know it existed until then.
But it's getting like some crazy stuff. You should definitely test it for like infographics and stuff. Might
Yeah,
actually help.
I haven't used it for anything but research in a long time. I will try it out.
Um,
Because
yeah, so can small
I
business.
know a friend of mine's been using it to like make good pitch decks. So I assume it's using a similar way to the infographics with the info and
Yeah.
the graphical design capabilities.
Yeah, so that's one of the talking points actually. Can small businesses use like the bento grid infographic style to replace the expensive Canva design subscriptions? Notebook. I don't know what's available in the free version actually, because Notebook LM has a free tier and a pay tier. Um, but if it generates pretty good presentations for free or the infographics, that could be a really, really good tool. Might even be good for social media, or even maybe like pitch decks, right? Like we talked about.
That's what a good friend of mine's using it for.
Especially because you can feed it all your company information, your offer stuff. Um, So could be interesting. Yeah, it's got direct PowerPoint export. And I'll tell you what, another thing that AI has been getting really good with, especially when I try when I show you the thumbnails, it's getting good with actually editing the product. So whatever you make, whether you make like a presentation with it or an infographic or an image, it's getting better with actually editing it. If you ask it to like add specific text or change something,
Oh,
it's
that's
getting a lot
good.
better with that, because it was horrible. It was
Yeah, it was
absolutely
bad.
useless with that. I remember I tried to like remove something from an image, and it's like 40 prompts later, an hour later, I just gave up. I was just like, never mind. I would just like export it to Canva and edit it.
No,
But it's
yeah,
actually getting very good.
that's funny. I'll try it out. I think I cancelled my paid Notebook LM subscription actually. I'll check up. I don't
Have
pay
you
for
got
that anymore.
Gemini? Because it's the same. They bundle it with Gemini.
Oh no, I got rid of everything when I went to Claude. So I really like Claude.
I still got Gemini because I got the Google Workspace, so it's just part of the better Google Workspace subscription, which is handy, to be honest.
Are we going back to the miserable topics?
Yes, actually, I wanted to try a new segment.
Oh, we've got a segment.
So,
Oh, it's the first one I've heard of this.
Yeah. Let's try this and see how this does.
Oh
I
God.
don't know if it's got.
I don't know what this segment is. I'm excited. Actually, do you know well? Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's time.
What are you? Oh my God! Turn that off! What is wrong with you?
It's
And
time
I've
for
just
business.
seen you haven't changed the thumbnail. My thumbnail is still facing the wrong way. Why haven't you fixed that? Oh my God!
It's time for business ambulance,
Oh
where
my
we rapid
God!
fire answer a quick few business questions from the audience, which we now don't have, but I've picked a couple of questions from Reddit.
Oh God!
So maximum 3 minutes per question. We'll both give our take.
Oh God!
And see how it goes. So here's one. Um, Am I being rude for wanting to charge no-show deposits? My uncle thinks I'm ruining our family business. I've been helping out at my family's practice. So this is a physiotherapy practice, which you've actually had as a client, and I'm in a massive disagreement with my uncle, the owner. Last month we've had 13 no-shows. That's roughly 25% of our slots. We're still paying full rent and overhead, but basically working 1 out of every 4 hours, and it's killing our margins. What can we do about it?
Just take a deposit. That's what hairdressers do. I remember when I used to dye my hair. This was years ago when I was like 20 years old or whatever. I had blonde hair. When I used to have to go and get it dyed, the hairdresser would always take a deposit. It was like a third of the price. It wasn't much, but then I'd pay the 2/3 once my hair was dyed. So yeah, just charge a deposit to book. Is it that? Is it that much of a complicated question? Obviously, you don't charge 100% up front, but just do it. You charge a third, and if they no show twice, you just don't let them in your clinic unless they then pay them 100% at the start.
Yeah, so I agree with John that it's not rude to wanting to charge for no-shows, number one, right? You're saving the time slot and it costs you money. You're giving up another client to see this client. So it absolutely makes sense. Charging, like Joe said, a quick deposit can be good. To be honest, a lot of online platforms now get you to pay up front, actually. So that's absolutely a valid thing. as well. You can just pay up front. A good incentive can be to actually offer people a discount if they pay up front, because that protects you from that. Um, or just, charge a small deposit, or just get the credit card information, and then you can say that if they don't show, you will charge the card.
I
And
think I
just
think
do it that way.
a deposit's just a smart thing to do, isn't it? It's fair. Even like most project businesses I know, like in the marketing space for websites and stuff, charge a 1/3 deposit. Totally reasonable. It's not rude.
Right. Rapid fire. Next one is how do you, and actually this is something we talked about quite a bit. How would you determine the right time to hire your first employee? I've been running my digital
Ooh.
marketing agency solo for about 2 years now and consistently hitting capacity with my current client load. The workload is becoming overwhelming, working 60 plus hour weeks, but I'm nervous about the financial commitment of bringing someone on. My revenue is stable but not skyrocketing, and I keep going back and forth between hire when you can afford it versus hire to grow. How do you know when you're truly ready for that first hire? What metrics do you look at beyond just revenue? And are there any specific signs that you think should make it clear it's time to stop being solo operation and build a team? Uh,
I'd say
your
start with
take
a
would be good on
freelancer.
that.
That's I've only ever hired well, two proper people. They're both good, in fairness. But I would just say, one, make sure you actually want to grow a business. And that's something I realized when I first hired. I was like, I don't want a big business. I don't want to be responsible for other people. At this point in my life, I want to be responsible for myself, and that's it. So then I changed my plan to reflect that. But then I'd say start with a freelancer, outsource one of your projects to another freelancer, work alongside them, manage them. If you enjoy that process, it probably shows that you're ready to hire. And then if that does show that, do it. If it doesn't, you'll see what didn't work, and then you can take that into the next thing, next project.
Yeah, and I got a few things to add to that. So with the freelancer, you don't necessarily actually need to look for someone to like do a lot of the work. The best thing to do is think about what small tasks you can delegate that either drain your energy. So maybe if it's like you tired of the administration work and chasing up invoices and things like that and checking messages, maybe you can hire like a VA or an admin assistant just to help with that one specific task for start small, like couple of hours a day, right? So you're not committing to like a full hire of like or another designer, for example, which could be quite costly even as a um, freelance. Obviously, you can hire someone for short projects to test, but I would look at just really looking at what small tasks you can outsource um, that don't give you a big financial strain, but can bring big impact to your health and your productivity. Um, Second thing is really looking at the systems and maybe thinking about optimizing your current price packages and everything else, because that can help a lot. In terms of when to start, really, if your revenue has been consistent for at least kind of 3, 4, 5 months, right? If you've been running for 2 years, if you've done like 5 months consistent work and you keep like hitting the threshold, you don't have problems with client acquisition, you keep getting projects, you get good reviews, you're not struggling with clients dropping off all the time, so you don't have a massive churn. Um, then it's definitely time to hire someone if you want to do that, if you want to work less and grow the business. Then definitely hire, but start small. Don't start hiring a big team. Just look at outsourcing a specific task to start with to maybe save yourself, 10 hours a week rather than trying to think of hiring another you to run a half of the business. Um, but like Joe said, it's an important question. Do you actually want to scale?
No, but I realised I didn't. At least at this point in my life, it's not wasn't. There's other things I wanted to. Like I realised I couldn't scale my business past a certain point, wanting to only work a certain amount of time every week.
Yeah, and some people are happy with that. Some people don't want to manage team as well, and it can be tricky, that especially because people think hiring is just, oh, I'm just going to hire a bunch of people and just tell them what to do and it's going to be fine. Managing staff, you've had some brief experience with that, Joe. It's actually,
I didn't like feeling responsible for someone else.
yeah,
At least at this point in my life, it just wasn't. It wasn't for me. It might be what it most likely will be at some point in the future, but at that point, I didn't want to do it. And hiring freelancers helped me realize that. So I can start with a freelancer and go from there.
yeah. And if you do plan to get any stuff on board and never manage stuff, I would definitely grab a couple of like management books, just to pick up some basics on management and dealing with people if you haven't done that before, because it's not as easy as just telling people what to do. There's quite a lot more to it. Right, let's pick one more and then we'll move back to maybe one more topic and then we can finish off. This is more for me probably. I'm about to quit. My SaaS is driving me crazy. I've been building my SaaS business for almost 5 months now and I'm going crazy. I have a bug that I've been trying to fix for over 2 weeks now. This sucks. I wonder how you guys all do this. How are you building those projects and how are you moving forward? So this is the rise of vibe coders and junior devs. Seriously, my best tip is if you're stuck on something for more than a few days, just pay someone to do it. Just hire someone, like you can pay a more experienced developer, pay them for 2 hours of work, literally give them, 100, £200 for like 2 hours of their work just to come in, and chances are someone more experienced will just tell you what's wrong um, right away. That's one thing. Few other things. There's a couple of software. One is called Code Rabbit. Another one, Anthropic, actually added code review. It does cost like $30 to use once.
Really?
You can try
Jesus.
that. Yeah. So there we go. They're pushing the revenue, right, and the enterprise side. Um, so that could potentially like help you narrow down the point. But my guess is if you've been struggling, you've probably tried using AI already. So just ask, if you make friends with developers, right? As well, make friends with other developers. Maybe someone more experienced can help you for free. If you don't have anyone in your network, just pay someone. It's not worth like spending 2 weeks of your time trying to figure out a problem that can be solved in 4 hours by someone more experienced.
So, what about the other part of that? When should you quit your SaaS, do you think? Because as he was saying there, he wants to quit. There's always a time to like get out. When would you say that time is?
So there might be two things. It might be a quit or it might be a pivot, right? I would say if you need to absolutely talk to customers and actually talk to your users. There's no like quick and easy way to find users. So don't quit until you've actually like released it, right? Or talk to people. Don't quit until you've talked to people. So first talk to people. So my question is, have you actually talked to your users in the first place? If you've not talked to them and started developing, talk to users first, verify the problem that it exists, then try to build like the quickest MVP that you can, even like the most basic stuff that solves the problem, the quickest bit of product. and just push it and give it to real people to test and see what happens and try to sell it and iterate from there. And from that point, you might decide, actually, this is a shit product, nobody wants it, it's useless. That should ideally not happen. You should have gotten to that point by talking to people first. But you might quickly find a pivot. So very often, what you imagine as the first product actually is not the final product, right? So you might give it to people to test and they say like, oh, actually, we're only using this bit of your software and not this bit. And you might find that actually the product should be completely something different and you lean into that and test that. Quit when nobody wants it and you don't know what people want.
Because
when you
there
don't
is
know what people want and nobody wants it.
There is the sunken cost fallacy,
That's
isn't there? That everyone always talks about.
Adding more features is usually not the way to fix something. That's the main thing. So you either pivot early if people don't want it, or you just leave and try something else. What you don't want is just think, oh, we're just gonna like, if users don't already, if users at the start think the product is shit, you don't just go on and keep adding more features and thinking, oh, I will just add more, I will just add more, I will just add more. Talk to people. That's the quickest way. Diego's got a question. Is starting a SaaS company now actually a good idea? What Anthropic did with its AI agent has everyone in the SaaS industry very worried. It really depends. Like, the one thing that I always say, and we talked about it so many times, humans are lazy. Humans are lazy. Even if you could make something in Claude and, you know, people will, there will be people that will just go, I'll just make my own software. That's fine. There will be people that do that. That doesn't mean everyone will. Like, you gotta think about the general public, right? If you can make something that really solves a very, very specific problem to a specific type of person, it's absolutely worth it. Why not, right? And the beauty of SaaS is if it's a really good product, you can scale it so fast. Like, fuck, you could, it's been proven, right? You could sell the bloody thing in 6 months for 100 million. So why not do it? Right? But you gotta keep your expectations realistic, I think. That's another conversation I had with an investor. Like, you gotta really think, like, can this product fly off solo? What are your expectations? Why are you doing it? Because some stuff will require like massive investment, right? A lot of people think like, oh, I'll start a social media network. No, you can't. You can't vibe code a social media network. Like, you can make one, but it's not gonna work. You're not gonna make money without having like hundreds of millions in funding. It's dumb, right? You're not gonna make another fucking Salesforce or HubSpot. So yeah, really think if you actually want to do it, because it's a lot harder than people make it. Don't believe the stories of I coded an app in 2 weeks and made shit ton of money. That's not
This has been
real.
longer than 3 minutes.
You want to pick perhaps a final topic or two?
Not really, they're all depressing.
Right, I'll pick one. Hirebound raises 2 million to agentize the recruitment lifecycle. Recruitment startup Hirebound raised 2 million in seed funding. That's actually big for a seed round. In March 4th last week. So to build its agentic AI recruitment engine, unlike simple filters, Hirebound agents actively engage in dialogue with candidates to determine fit, managing everything from sourcing to evaluation. The goal is to reduce time to hire for technical roles down to 48 hours. For small businesses without dedicated HR team, this represents the total automation of the hiring process. It's interesting because we've talked about the AI hiring software, and it's mostly been shit because it just looked at applications, it asked a couple of questions, it looked at CVs, and that's been absolutely useless. But if this thing is gonna give you like, you're gonna have like a AI interviewer interviewing you, doing the actual interview, and then passing you on the answers, that could actually be a thing. Because I'll tell you what, as someone who trained managers and did recruitment for large companies, most people suck at hiring. So as we said, a lot of people suck at a lot of things, and AI is starting to doing better job in a lot of them. Can this be the next thing that does a better job than humans? What do you think, Joe?
I'd have to see it in practice first because it sounds very weird in concept. And it's something I'd have to see and see live examples, see if it works or not. Because I think this might be something that in theory works really well, but in practice pisses everyone off. It has that potential. But it does have, in theory, it works. So I'm interested to see what happens. But God, could you imagine being interviewed by? I've had a video interview before, like before I decided to start my business when I left my 9 to 5. There's a little gap where I had a few interviews. I almost took one of the jobs, but this one I was interviewed for was like I would be speaking into like my phone screen or the webcam, and little questions would come up, and I'd be given like 90 seconds to answer, or something along those lines.
That's the recorded video interviews. We did that.
And I was fucking awful. Because I was just, you know what I'm like when I start talking, I start making jokes that I expect another person to bounce off, and it just, no, that didn't suit me at all. Not my style. And most people I know think that's like it pisses the candidates off, especially at that time. So I'd think a 10-minute phone use better than that.
We had a lot of people struggle with recorded interviews. A lot of people get really nervous, and you only got like certain amount of time to answer. Like you
Yeah,
said,
it's 90 seconds. It was 90 seconds on my one.
Because they usually like first stage. So normally you get another interview after that, but a lot of people struggle with that. But
I just think
how would you feel? How would you feel? How would you feel talking to someone, but you know it looks real, it acts like, it looks like a human, but you know it's not. You know it's AI.
No, it's not. It's not the one. It is not the one. No. Because also, that might not pick up like certain cues or human cues that, like, it wouldn't pick up a facial expression. If I was clearly making a joke and I smiled, they might think I was being serious. Didn't pick up that little bit of sarcasm. Do you know what I mean? No, it's weird. Like, I imagine you being AI right now and me talking to you. It's weird. It's weird, bro. It's not the one.
Maybe it will. Some sales software I've seen like does that already, like picks up on like voice intonation and stuff.
Oh, it's weird. Oh, I don't know. Again, this feels like some. In theory, it could be really cool, save you loads of money and save you loads of time. But in practice, it gives us no, not the one, not for me.
So here's a fun one, especially for like UK law. If an AI agent screens the candidate, is the business liable for any algorithmic bias in the hiring process?
Yes, obviously, of course.
Can you sue AI for disqualifying you from the interview?
Oh, I hate this topic. I hate how. Oh, do you know how the clip you posted on LinkedIn earlier about me saying I think I get a lot of use out of AI because I don't try and replace 5 people? This is why I hate people, because the people creating this are appealing to people who want to replace half an HR department with some fucking software, and I hate fuck this. I don't like it.
Imagine like you know how sensitive UK hiring is. UK law hiring law is. Yeah, I see a lot of lawsuits coming up for AI discrimination.
So this would just replace the first interview, right? Surely someone's not going to hire someone based off pure AI,
I don't know.
right?
They're looking to replace the whole process.
I don't like this then. This sounds really good in theory, but I think in practice it would just piss everyone off.
And here's the hot take. We've talked about this a bit, but this will reach a whole new level now, right? Because it's the full process. So we're reaching the point where it's AI versus AI hiring loop. Candidates use AI to write resumes and send applications, and companies use AI agents to read them and interview them. At what point
Oh.
do two humans actually talk to each other?
Can you know next week we make these topics a little bit happier? Because every single one today has made us miserable.
Oh, you know
It's like,
what? Somebody now has to make. So somebody now has to make an AI agent to do interviews for you.
like I'm a happy guy. Honestly, I'm a happy. I know I sound miserable sometimes and I go on some tangents about some bullshit, but I'm a happy guy usually. And this show's just made me miserable. I only want. We need at least like 7 or 8 happy topics next week, right? If I'm coming on this show and there's like 18 negative ones, I'm not doing it. That's the rule.
I'll try to find some happy news.
Like I always try and look on the bright side, but every single one a day is either being like hyper American capitalistic, trying to squeeze money out of people, or AI replacing humans because let's replace half an HR department with some fucking software. Not the one, bro. Not the one.
There's actually happy news.
Is
Number
there?
three is number three is happy news. Um, so on February the 20th, the Supreme Court struck. Sorry. So there's been a thing with the tariffs. Some of the tariffs, small businesses have been hit, especially on like import export stuff, right? So on February 20th, so a couple of weeks ago, Supreme Court struck these down as unconstitutional, and on March 4th, the Court of International Trade ordered the government to begin issuing tariff refunds. Estimates suggest staggering 175 billion is owed to importers. So
Good. Get your
yeah,
money, bro.
they sued the US government and said, fuck you, give us our money back. You're
Well
messing up
done.
our business.
Well done. Well done. I respect that. Hate, let's attack the establishment because the establishment is trying to kill us all with robots and take all our money for bullshit. Fuck,
But
this is a depressing show, man. You ruined my mood.
I'm
Well,
really looking forward to seeing someone develop AI interview agent to
oh,
to do interviews for people. And then you're gonna have AI interview agents and AI hiring in agent interviewing each other.
this is right. So I thank everyone for watching this incredibly depressing and miserable show. As you see, I've gotten progressively more miserable with every new news topic. I did enjoy the brief interlude where we talked about business. That was fun because
Yeah, let's bring that back next week.
yeah, but last week's show
If you
was pretty
guys have any
happy.
questions that you would like answered, if you sub to the newsletter at fclive.substack.com, you can just reply to the issue or comment with your question, and we'll try to answer that in the next show, or just comment live and drop it in the comments.
I need
Um,
something. I need something other than fighting to, get my emotions out because I need something else, something else that can cheer us up. Jesus.
I got absolutely beaten up in today's training.
Oh, I was on last Saturday. I went to one of the best fight gyms in the UK. I was invited to train there, and Jesus Christ, I had it was a hard 2 hours. That's why I've got a very small black eye that no one can quite see, thankfully.
I've got a bunch of bruises everywhere, but
Oh, I checked a kick with my left elbow, and my left elbow is still swollen.
because you're
And
doing
his shit,
MMA
his,
now, isn't it? You're on
I've done it,
MMA.
yeah. I'm back to MMA. I MMA for a long time. But I just checked a kick by dropping that, and I fucked his shin up, but I also fucked my elbow. So we were just both ruining each other for no reason. It was really dumb. Oh, I miss box. I got so good at boxing that I can spar decent level and not get hit off anything just by slick shit. But MMA, man, because it sounds really weird. The skill level of boxing is much higher. So if you're good at boxing, someone who's bad at boxing can't do anything to you. But if you're good at MMA, like I am, but someone bad at MMA, if they just do some rogue spazzy stuff, with no technique behind it, something will land. Because if they just throw because there's that many limbs. If they just throw 6 rogue punches and 3 bad kicks and 2 knees, something's gonna get through because it just spazzed on you. But with boxing, if you throw 6 punches, you can slip them because you know there's 2 limbs that are gonna come for you. But
You have to get the level difference has to be much higher.
yeah, I love boxing and I love jiu-jitsu. Those are the 2 that I like. Everything else, So I think I might come back for 2 MMA fights and call that a day. Because
Get some Tiger. I don't think
I
we've got
love
Tiger Bomb in UK, Diego.
I love
That's an
training
Asian thing.
boxing. I love training boxing. And I like training jiu-jitsu, but everything else, man, there's so much to MMA. I forgot how much there works. I haven't done MMA properly since 2023, 2024, so it's been a while. Fun.
On that beautiful note, guys, fclive.substack.com if you want the summary of all of the topics that we've discussed and the business tips that we also covered today. Or just drop me a follow on YouTube. Links will be in the description.
At the
And
Joe
you
Carson
can
on
watch the
Instagram.
video, or at Joe Carson on Instagram to
The
get some of
Joe Carson.
the Joe Carson to see some of the clips. And as always, have a great evening and see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.